Events are in motion today that will change the face of the world forever. And it's important to know what's actually happening because most people just generally don't really care about what's happening in the world. And it's impossible at this point to actually, avoid these questions. Essentially, you have a massive war erupting in Europe. The Ukraine war has fundamentally changed the way we perceive world events, as we are now witnessing, since World War II, some of the biggest battles going on right at this moment. And despite what you think about these people and their lives all a world away, it's actually like going to be something that is going to fundamentally change our lives forever, really. And society may never be the same. And of course, you got all the regular gaslighting from elected officials and government spokespeople who tell you it's all okay and everything is all fine. And don't worry, just go back to work at your jobs. Nothing bad will ever happen. But of course, the world is rallying towards a different future, a future that upsets the Western sphere of influence, where generally over the last ever since World War II, the United States has formed a position of power over all the other countries in the world. And what is coming from that is a resistance, a movement of peoples from all over the planet trying to basically dethrone Western hegemony and Western elite power. And perhaps no element of this new world of conflict is more concerning than the fact that Russia has the most nuclear weapons on Earth. And for anybody who doesn't know, nuclear weapons are extreme danger to us. And isn't it funny that during COVID they had us all locked inside and wearing masks, but yet we have a nuclear existential threat looming right over our heads, and the media doesn't want us to think about it, doesn't want us to talk about it, and doesn't want us discussing it because they truly believe that there is no threat to Western powers. But really, like, I mean, what is this new world order that Putin speaks of? Because we're never going to get an honest answer from our Western media or our elected officials on what is really happening in the world. Western leaders are never going to tell us the truth. And just likewise in other countries, they rarely are told the truth too. So we have to think for ourselves. But luckily, in today's world, we have the internet, a completely connecting force that all of us share information, we share everything with each other at a click of a button. And what existed in World War II is now not so much a thing. It's not so easy to control the narrative. It's not so easy to control the hearts and minds of people all over the world. So it's important to identify exactly what's happening in the world so that when the future becomes the future, we're not so surprised at what is occurring. Wars have always been a regular part of human society, so the first essence of where we're at as a species is warfare. Warfare erupting all over the world. Warfare domestically, warfare locally, warfare internationally. Everywhere, human greed and corruption has led to a world where we are just at the brink of utter and complete collapse and conflict. And the prominent rise of true power in this world and envy of that power is something that's given rise to all manner of leaders all over the world. These leaders crave what most human beings crave, and that is power. Power, money, and generally the ability to become something greater than ourselves. And just like our forefathers during World War II, we stand at a world ready to change. And that change will undeniably come with the proliferation and normalization of use of nuclear weapons, which is very likely coming down the pipeline here. I mean, look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to discover that world powers are uniting against the West. And basically, I mean, we have a world where there's alliances being formed and countries that are unhappy with the seat of power that the United States has given itself. And perhaps no other person is at the center of that is than Vladimir Putin, a very, very well known character online and probably one of the most popular people in the world at the moment, just simply for the fact that he holds the nuclear power and he seeks to dominate the West and their power over the rest of the world. So it's very clear that Putin seeks a new world order, a new world of power. But what does it really mean that this new world order he speaks of? It is of six principles outlined in Putin's new world order, and they're very secretive in nature. But I mean, anyone with half a brain could tell you that basically he wants to dethrone the U.S., destroy the power that the U.S. currency, the dollar, has over the world, and pretty much put an end to the fact that the U.S. is generally um, the uh, ruler of this earth. And how does he seek to do that, you may wonder? Well, it's pretty obvious that he is going to do that either wielding or actually using the power of atomic weaponry. The media tends to shy away from nuclear weapons because it's very scary for the general public. But I mean, they control that narrative, and that narrative has to get out there. Nuclear weapons are vicious invention of humankind, but on the surface level, people really expect that they'll never be used just simply because of their horrific effects and this deep-seated pack of mutual assured destruction throughout the world that is on very shaky grounds in my personal opinion. The severe amount of political turmoil in the United States shows that the United States is the center of this chaos that's erupting all over the world. This um, disdain for the regular ebb and flow of normal society in the world, and it leads to an environment where people can jump for power in any way they think possible. So go on believing that everything that Western media tells you, because they will definitely not be giving you the truth. We are at the precipice of a world war, and our destiny is marked in the fact of what we do to to show support for certain sides. But at the same time, I don't expect that humans are going to make this easy, this change, this new world order, this this friction that's happening in humanity that could lead us to extremely dangerous territory. And the media is classic at hiding and downplaying every world event that's currently happening right now. The absolutely horrific human injustice that is occurring in Gaza at this very moment and probably breaking over into Lebanon is proof that humanity is kind of lost its way with, itself. We like to think that we're a world of people who help each other and make the world a better place, but that's simply not the case. Not when people demand so much power, so much authority over others. It's really a human tragedy that's unfolding all over the world, but concentrated quite tragically in Gaza. The truth of the matter is there's basically nowhere to go but worldwide conflict from here. And knowing that is probably an important thing for you to understand, so that when shit really goes down, you and the people you love can get the fuck out of there and basically let whatever happens and pick up the pieces afterwards and try and rebuild your life. Don't listen to the crazy motherfuckers who are screaming and screeching on the top of their lungs at any political moment. Uh, and think for yourself. Think for your own mind. What do you support? What values of your country do you not like or agree with? Will you speak out about those things? Because you know that the hacks in media will never tell you the truth. They'll never tell you how it is. They don't want the public frightened. They don't want the public scared. And when you say things like there's going to be a world war and new world order and potentially everything you know and love could be destroyed in this conflict, it's something that needs to be said, and our media is very reluctant to actually say it. What Putin is really saying is that he wants to completely and utterly dethrone the West. He wants to take down what was always established as the status quo in the world. The status quo that after World War II, the United States basically succeeded in power over the entire planet and now actively controls the economic freedoms of other countries, keeps down political rivals, and manipulates and controls world governments to meet its needs. And while no side may be uh, fully 100% the good guys, certainly for the last 70 or so years, this system has generally worked, but it has led to unimaginable inequalities around the world, even in the United States, where there is constantly uh, examples of just utter and complete chaos caused by the greedy capitalist ideologies that have conquered our planet for so long. Yeah, we're basically on the path to an utter and complete chaos around the world. But I mean, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Whatever happens from this will shape the destiny of the human race forever and potentially allow us to become a spacefaring society. People like Elon Musk, they're looking for actual changes in the world and potentially delivering on those changes despite his antics. He's a person who could truly be a real leader of the world, and there's a certain thing to be said for how riches can bring out the best or the worst in people. And in many ways, our societies are very interconnected, but at the same time, they're so unbelievably different. We basically only got this one planet, and we're doing a very good job of fucking it up. And with nuclear weapons, we'll have completely and utterly fucked it up. But let's hope it doesn't go there. Let's hope we can fight past our differences and create a society of utopia all around the world. And that all the conflict and dangers that are occurring today can secede and will become something that's, much better than it was before. Something that is true, fair, honest, empathetic, a human race that is something more than it could have ever become. Just simply from this time of strife that we kind of gotten ourselves through here. And, we are a very dangerous place in our evolution. And potentially, this could be actually a part of our own evolution as a species to become something different, in something that is, on a galactic scale, that we could become a spacefaring species if we just learned to get along. And how could we get along? Is there any way that humans actually one day band together as all nations, all societies, and truly become a one world entity where there's not all these regional conflicts? And maybe that's a part of our evolution too. Maybe we are simply evolving to be something that's um, more peaceful, and we just become every generation, every newborn baby, just slowly becoming more and more and more peaceful until we end a day where there's not homeless people in the streets with needles sticking out of their arms dying. Maybe there's a society where there's not wars where children are getting blown up and thrown to the street corner. Maybe we are capable of this. But as it stands now, it certainly doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. And I would love to hear your comments on this on this speech I did. So as we blast off into the cosmos, there's only one way forward for humans, and that essentially is just by keep moving forward and hope we don't nuke ourselves. Peace out.